Hey guys!
We're here today to check out the latest video from the Agonist, Orphans. Alright, so there's a couple of reasons why we're sitting here today to check out this video. One of the reasons is these guys were nominated for a Juno. For those of you that don't know what a Juno is, do you even know what a Juno is?
I know what a Juno is.
So for those of you that don't know what a Juno is, it's the equivalent of the Grammys, but for Canadian artists. So they were nominated for Best Metal Album of the Year. The Junos should have happened already, but because of COVID-19, they got postponed. And I think in the next couple of weeks or something like that, we're gonna find out they're doing like a virtual thing. They're not actually having people in an arena or whatever, like a pavilion, whatever the place they host the freaking Junos. So anyways, they're nominated, and I really hope they win. In a couple of weeks, we should find out if they're the winners, because this was one, if not the best Canadian metal album of last year. I really like this album. I really like what they did. Kudos to them just for even being nominated. But let's face the facts. Who just wants to be nominated? You want to win. I want to win. You know what I mean? Well, not me personally. I'm not going to win anything. But I want them to win. Because
a lot of artists, they get nominated, but then they don't win, and then they're like, oh, it was just a pleasure to be nominated.
Yeah, that's what they say for the camera.
Yeah, but when you get nominated, you really just want to win it.
I'm sure when they get to the hotel room, they'll throw their tie down, and they're like, those motherfuckers. We were better than them. We were better than those guys that won. Anyways, I think that's what goes on. I was really disappointed when Beyond Creation was nominated, and they didn't win. Because, I'm not going to lie, it's 6 degrees of separation. I know these guys. If they win, it's almost like I won the Juno myself, even though I had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
But there's also a chance that when we go to Montreal and we go visit them, we can see the Juno, maybe take a picture with it. I'm sure I can pull some strings and make something like that happen. All right, so that's one of the reasons why we're here to check out this video. The second reason is this is a brand new video that they just released, and I really love this album. I want to check out what they did with the video. Third reason, last but definitely not least, we had this video on our Patreon poll of the week. It finished second place, only 2% behind Brothers of Metal.
It finished second and 2% away.
Yeah, it's like the twos. Imagine if it was 6th, that would be 666, but then we wouldn't be checking it. I mean, there's only 5 videos on the Patreon poll, so you can finish 6th. But anyways, yeah, so it finished second, 2% behind Brothers of Metal. So 2% behind Brothers of Metal, then it's like a tie as far as I'm concerned. All right, you ready for this? Orphans, the Agonist?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
There's no fairy tales to read here, no damsels in distress, just 2 sisters that were caught in a mess. There's no wicked stepmother, fairy godmother, no unpleasant day waiting to be saved. Knock, is someone at the door? Hush, little girl, we can wait a little more. difference in what we decide. As we go through our lives pretending there's no difference in wrong or right. Knock, knock. Is someone at the door? I have always lived in this castle. No one will come knocking. I have always lived in this castle. No one will come knocking. I have always lived in this castle. No one will come knocking on my door. Not anymore. Will come knocking. Not anymore. No one will come knocking on my door.
All right. Since you're not as familiar with the album as I am, I'm going to let you go first. But I have a lot of things to say about the video. More so than the song. But yeah, about the video. But anyways.
Oh, I love that. I love the ending when her clean like beautiful angelic vocals came in with the harsh vocals, and the drums just start to tear ass.
There was about 2 moments in the song where the drums get really heavy, where the double paddling just gets really heavy. And
But at the end, it was perfect.
At the end, yeah, the way that the song kind of was constructed in that way, the closing was perfect. Yeah, I agree.
I love how throughout the song, 3 of her style of vocals really shined in the whole song. You got her like angelic vocals, then the clean vocals that have a little bit of a raspiness to them.
Almost screaming vocals. There's some screaming vocals.
Yeah, they're screaming vocals, but that's like a whole, like her screaming and harsh vocals, I put them as one. But then
Yeah, but they're very different. Her screaming vocals in
but then she also had like clean vocals, but with like a little bit of a raspiness to them. And then she had those harsh vocals, scream vocals. And I mean, throughout the song, they came in the perfect timing. And then whenever the angelic vocals came in, I'm like, because there's such a blessing to be given to you so many times.
When she's repeating that line towards the end, I'm here in this castle. At that moment, her delivery during that specific moment when it's on repeat is absolutely magnificent. She has the perfect tone during that time.
Yeah.
When she's repeating it, the delivery is perfect, the tone is perfect, everything about that moment. It gets tattooed in your brain because she's repeating the line over and over again. But it's not just that because she's repeating, obviously that plays a factor, but her delivery, the tone, absolutely magnificent. Let me say a couple of things about this. I thought, let me start with the video. I thought this video is simple, but it's magnificently done. It plays so well with the lyrics of the song, with the idea behind the song. When she's in that castle of hers, you know, and it's all burnt down, this old house, and she's singing about how she's in her castle, and she's like spinning around, very angelic, like you said, not just from a vocal perspective, but even the appearance that she has.
Yeah.
And the way she's singing, and the way she's saying those lyrics, she's saying almost in a way that she's out of her mind. And what I mean by that is that the scenery that you see is a burnt down house. But it's almost she's singing that about something that she's seeing that we're not seeing. Like we're seeing this burned down house, but she's seeing a castle.
Yeah.
And she's singing like she's in the atrium of the castle, singing and spinning around. So it's almost like she can see a different world around her than the real world is. And that to me, it's such an extreme important moment in the video. Because it's all about the cinematography, how you constructed the video, and how you constructed a video that plays into the song. And it plays in perfectly. Because it gave me the sense of somebody who's almost in an asylum, right? singing about a world that she's living in that's not the reality of the world that she's in. And she's singing with such confidence, and she's singing
pride.
yeah, with a smile on her face, but almost like a smile of somebody who's not all up there.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like somebody who's demented,
There's a little bit of screws loose.
yeah, who thinks they're in one place but they're actually in another. And the way she's smiling and the way she's delivering, my God, like, I mean, that was acting. That's not just singing, that's acting, because it really worked well with, when you think of the lyrics, when you think of where she is in the video, and then the way she's acting in the video, I was like blown away. It made me feel, like I said, it made me feel like she was a different person. Like she saw a castle and she's singing around and she's like this beautiful princess in the castle.
Everyone else sees a bird.
But exactly, everybody else sees the reality of where she is. Absolutely magnificent. Whoever the idea was and how they pulled it off, and not only how they pulled it off, but herself, the way she acted in the video to really portray that feeling of being in a place that only you can see. Absolutely, like, hands down magnificent. I have to say that. Now, this song, in my opinion, for as good as it is, I really like. I like how gent it is. A little bit of prog in there. It's so groovy, so melodic. You know, I could feel some Ginger influences in there. But these guys tour with Ginger, so I can see some of that influence bleeding into their sound. Plus, I mean, you listen to music, so obviously you're going to be influenced by the things you listen to. The only thing I would like to have a little bit more is a little bit more bass in the mix. There's some moments where the bass kind of comes through, but you really have to be paying attention to really hear the bass coming in. For a song that has this kind of melancholic motion to it, groovy, gent feel, a little bit proggy at times, a little bit more bass in the mix, man, it's a world of difference. In my opinion, it's a world of difference. It takes the song from a 10 to like a 15, in my opinion. I really feel like this song could use a little bit, and I'm not saying it doesn't have bass, but I'm saying like a little bit more in the forefront. A couple of groovy bass lines, like jumping ahead of the guitars, if you will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like having a little bit more of a role. In my mind, if they had done it that way, this song would have been even better. It's already a great song, but it would have been even better. A little bit more of that bass, and it doesn't have to be fretless, whatever. Just regular bass, just a little bit of bass jumping into the forefront.
Fretless would be nice too.
Fretless would be nice too, but moving it a little bit more into the forefront, I really feel like that would have just really jumped off as far as this track is concerned. One more thing I want to say: these guys really deserve the Juno. All right, these guys were supposed to go on tour this year with Flesh God Apocalypse. It was a huge tour they were going to do across North America. They released, in my opinion has moved along from the time that I did the album review. When I did the album review, I said that this was the best album since Vicky joined the band. After now listening to the album and having the album on my playlist for many months, this is the band's best album to date, right? So I really hope they win the Junos, because when you release an album like this and then COVID happens and you can't go on tour with what was going to be a huge tour with Flesh God Apocalypse, it was going to really not open the doors because people know who the Agonist is, but I think it would have just really pushed them to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, because I honestly...
A lot of people would open their eyes to them.
And I think once they were on the road on that tour, I think it was going to be very hard for them to come off the road, because more tour opportunities would have came after that. And to have such a strong album and have to be shelved, not the album shelved because people can listen to the album, but the band having to be... Everybody's been shelved. I understand that. But I really feel for these guys, because they've had so many things go wrong for this band along the years. And a year where you feel like everything is finally falling into place. Their best album, Juno nomination, massive North American tour, following a massive European tour that they did with Ginger. And then this happens. I really feel for these guys. So I really hope they win the Juno. It will be bittersweet perhaps, but at least will give them a sense.
It gives them something.
It gives them something to hold on to, because the future is going to be bright. I feel like they're on the right path, and the future is going to be bright for them. So I really hope they win the Juno. I just want to say that, you know, and not because I know the guys, not because I'm friends with them. I really feel that, like from the bottom of my heart, I really feel that about this band. Plus, you should have a very special place in your heart for them. It was your first mosh pit was at a Agonist show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
It was good times.
Good times.
My first black eye at a metal concert.
In your first mosh. I remember you asking me, Dad, should I go into the mosh pit? I was like, yeah, man, go ahead. It's the rock pile. What's the worst that can happen? Black eye. All right. On that note, come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See you guys.
See ya.